Hey guys, thought I'd share my past year and a tad over 50 hours experience with the 2022 Beta Xtrainer. I'll try and keep it as succinct as I can to explain how it's helped me to enjoy enduro riding more and any cons that I've come across in that time. So as I mentioned in my reveal video just over a year ago, I was after a lighter, smaller, basically a nimbler bike that had tractor-like qualities, in many ways similar power delivery to the DRZ to help make tight single track more enjoyable compared to the DRZ, especially now that we've got all the adventure gear on it. Well, this thing ticked all the boxes for sure. It's exactly what I was hoping for in size, weight and power delivery in its stock configuration. Only upgrades were the PTEC bash plate, force radiator guards and bark busters. There was one more other significant mod that I made early on, around about the 10-hour mark. I had mths installed, game changer really for traction and not worrying about flats anymore. It was a super easy bike to quickly get comfortable and familiar with, and I instantly felt I had better clutch, brake and balance control than previously. The only times I've felt more nervous have been on really steep downhills, which is part to do, I think, with the reduced wheelbase and the lack of the engine braking, but definitely also rider skills. I also mentioned that I hope to take this bike to new areas to explore different terrain and tracks, and I'm glad to say we've done heaps of that. It definitely sucks on the road, isn't as pleasant on the fast open tracks like fire trails and 4B tracks, but it definitely makes up for those shortcomings in the tight singles and hill climbs. This bike has definitely given me a heap more confidence and inspired me to try tracks and obstacles that I know I wouldn't have previously. Being so light, even when I've gotten stuck or found a hill or obstacle too tricky, we've been able to drag, pull, lift, or whatever this little bike out, no worries. I think my skill levels are similar to beforehand. Maybe I've moved slightly up my ability meter, but I think I highly doubt I'm going to move too much further along. Look, genetics, fear, and my mortgage are probably going to keep me where I am. I still want to work on and improve simple pivot turns, hopping logs and small controlled power wheelies to help with these obstacles on the tracks. And also I'm starting to enjoy some moderate hill climbs more and more, as this bike can just tractor up in first gear with the mths. Even if my skills may not have improved out of sight, without this bike I know I would not have been to the places I've been and enjoyed the trails anywhere near as much as I have. So when I bought this bike, I already had the DRZ 400, a V-Strom 650, and I bought this Xtrainer for a tad less than both of them put together, and without ever even seeing one or riding any 300 two-stroke. Felt like a huge risk at the time. Since taking ownership of this bike, I've sold the boat and downgraded it to a jet ski, sold the V-Strom, and I've only had the DRZ out a handful of rides. The reason being, I just love this bike so much and enjoy riding it in the tight singles more than pretty much any other form of riding. Most days off, I'm more or less thinking about where I can ride it and who with. I still love the adventure rides on the DRZ and I can't wait to get on another camping trip on it and explore, although now having a smaller, lighter bike, I do toss up the idea of selling the DRZ for a KTM 500 to do that kind of riding now as well. So I just can't ignore how much nicer Gamble's 530 sliced through the sand that day versus the DRZ's ploughing style. Front end just feels way more planted. There's no question that the Xtrainer is a brilliant bike for novice riders like me who want to try and ride the trails with less worry. I know there's the saying it's 80% the rider, 20% the bike, but in my case, when I'm only 20% the rider, this bike helps me out the other 80%. Look, riding on the road really does suck big time, and especially on the mths. On the DRZ, everyone's looking for 6th gear. Well, on this, you're constantly looking for 7th. It's revving its tits off at 70 k's an hour and it's quite a vibrating bike. I also can't get a proper solution to chain slap over about 50 k's an hour. I re-tension it and it's still there. I've lost a few bolts over the year. Bottom bash pleat bolt, gone. Bottom chain guard rear bolt, gone ski. And recently a tank shroud bolt, never to be seen again. The horn mysteriously stopped working. Apparently I was getting a replacement, but after a follow-up phone call once, I'm still waiting months later. And I guess I'll just try and figure that one out one day. Also, as mentioned in the reveal vid, I did delete the oil injection. I just capped it off, disconnected it, and plugged in the delete kit plug cap. It's easy enough to return back to later down the track if someone wants to in the future. I have no issues with pre-mixing my fuel. Oh, that's the next big thing to me, the fuel range. I hit reserve in the bush, I'm guessing about 40 kilometres into the ride. Reading the manual, I remember it saying it's an 8.5 litre tank with the reserve being 1.5 litres. So I started to get a bit worried. Also didn't help that we were stuck in a valley with no easy way out on the hottest day of the year, 39 degrees that day. Anyway, we got out, scooted back to the cars, grateful to have made it back. I get home and start draining the remaining fuel just to see how many small ginger beer bottles it fills, thinking it has to be less than a litre's worth. 375 bottles later, I decided to just refuel and see what it takes. Turns out the reserve sits with about 3.5 to 4 litres remaining, or just under halfway. Good to know for next time, but I wonder why they stayed in the manual 1.5 litres. Anyway, there've been a few rides that I've not attended due to loops being about 80 k's, and I reckon I was only good for about 70-ish. I know others seem to get better economy though. I replaced my tyres around the 40 to 45 hours mark with the help from Jordo and relubed my mooses. The front rim has a decent dent in it, so it does seem to lose a bit of moose lube each ride now. I wasn't able to knock it back into place. So obviously I'm stoked with the bike. I feel it's definitely been the best bike for me at this stage in my riding experience. I feel like I've really enjoyed every ride I've been on and would highly recommend this style of bike to someone of similar ability who's trying to get into more single track riding with obstacles. So now that I've had it for over a year and over 50 hours, I've literally just given it a big facelift and added some goodies that we'll see how they go. These will be covered in the next Xtrainer vid, but include the 10 to 11 litre IMS tank, DFX suspension kit with upgraded springs, FMF gnarly exhaust, JD jetting kit, and I removed the airbox top plate. So if you're keen to see how these changes affect the handling of the bike, be sure to tune in and see what I think after giving it all a fair test. I'm thinking after the Kenilworth Chook Chase at the end of July will be when I'll let you know how it went. So thanks for watching. Hope the vid was useful and helpful to someone looking into the bike. Let me know your own experiences in the comments if they differ from mine or are similar. Any questions I'll try to answer and I'll catch you on the next vids. Cheers guys, hooroo.